Oh, hello. It's been a while since I did this. Okay, so what am I doing here? I think you guys see the background, hear the background music. Yeah, you guys hear it. I just be lowered. Okay, so today you guys going to see the actual development of VHelp. Although I know most of my current audience would not care about it. But I was like, hey, hello, Sprocket. What's up with the versus cogs? Either way, how everything is going? Oh my, again, YouTube chat is doesn't working. Every time it's just YouTube. So, okay, so, okay, so this code needs a bit of change. Okay, so we need to add different function to virtual stream deck. Obviously, all of this would not be possible in only today, but either way, add extra keys, support. You're on Twitch as well? I saw your follow on Twitch, by the way. I can't say only thank you. Thank you for following on Twitch. You know, it's so much precious for me. Oh, by the way, now that you're on Twitch, give me one moment. Oh boy, I need to open Discord. Okay, let me bring this Discord here before I dox myself. Okay, so oh, someone is here. Either way, so I don't know if you know it as Sprocket or okay. So what I was doing. Thank you, Sprocket, for being here while you were. Okay, so we need to remake virtual keyboard. What else I need to do? Remain, enhance, virtual keyboard custom engine. Yeah, that's our to-do for the main program. So now what? Meanwhile, okay. I don't know if it's US rocket or not, but either way, I have a Discord chat server now. It's still a bit rusty, so if you want, you can join it. Either way, so new version of this time I'm going to only promote my Twitch for now. Okay. So now doing the thing I was doing. Okay, so I need to do this. So let's I don't want to kind of add new window because this needs new window and I don't want to add a custom new window. I have already a bunch of custom windows I have added into programs and I want to use pre-made. The more pre-made I use, the less heavier the program is. So, okay. I think there is a Qt input widget that I can use. I'm not 100% sure. I can bring a window there, so I can search it up. Qt input widget. I probably can use it as okay. I'm pretty sure that widget exists somewhere. So Q input dialog. There we go. So oh hell yeah, I can add it. Use a pre-made one. Because these things are already made into the framework that I'm using, so the more I use them, the less space it takes. So oh, hi Sprocket. I saw you there. Again, this Discord server is a bit rusty, but meh, it does exist. So, yeah, I saw you. So, I think okay. So, now we need a combo. Definitely we need a combo box. Oh, we have it. I can use a pre-made one. Okay, so keeping it here. Extra key support. Okay, so it's basically keyboard with engine. Here is this all of the second keyboard handling engine. This part needs to be modified to add that. So I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is the stroke. This one is the one that reports which key have been pressed. So, okay. For adding an additional one to extra keys, this was the numpad key support, by the way. This whole thing was numpad key support. By it needed a little bit modification behind somewhere else to support it fully. So now that here we recognize whether it is a second keyboard or not. Okay, so and whether it is pressed, if it's pressed or not. Okay, so after this part we need to detect whether it is okay, not this part, because this is pressing the key. When you release the key, we need to go down. This is when you press the key. Okay, it's all pushed back, gets pushed into a list, and then based on that list it checks what shortcut you have set here, and based on that it presses the related keys if needed. So now we need to modify this part. Probably. Okay, we need to modify a bunch of things here, because if I only push it back with extra being detected, it's going to mess up a couple of things, mess up pressing the keys, right? So now what we do is a stroke. State says whether it is pushed or not. Information, maybe. Why the hell am I doing this? This is a driver, right? Called interception. So I can use the driver. Probably at some point I need to buy the license of this driver so I can customize the driver, but meh. Okay, so as much as I remember, there was an extra key like detection into it. So how they were detecting whether it is extra key or not. So scan code, I'm pretty sure caps lock counts as extra key. I'm pretty sure caps lock, keyboard scan code, right? There's a good image out there. I think this is the one. Not this one. Every time I fell for this one. This one? Was it? Yep. It's pretty similar to what I want. So, yeah, caps lock. Oh, why? So, caps lock is not an extra key. Damn. Probably. So based on what we can develop this thing? Oh, this was the thing. Yeah. This was the key, the thing that I wanted. Okay, so here's the scan code of all keys here. So those who are extra key, they have 0E or something behind them. So like this one. Okay, so I can search this scan code extra keys. So here's the complete guide of it. Ordinary keys. I think, oh, numlock, caps lock, all of them are here. So, oh yeah, extra keys are here. E0. Keypad enter. Why is it coded here like this? Okay. Somehow we need to recognize these ones. So, I have built an additional thing into VHelp that it doesn't show for ordinary people because I need to activate it on the build. But if I go to the main and decomment this, VHelp at the start of it would open a like command prompt, a CMD. So now on the keyboard hooking file, I just say std count. Does it recognize std count here? Okay. stroke dot code std andl. What it does, it basically puts the code of the key that is the scan code of the key that is being pushed into the CMD and goes to the next line. That's what it basically does. It's for me to recognize how this driver handles the extra keys because I never bothered with that. So now, until it builds, I need to take care of the driver part. So okay, What is this? Okay, this Alt Control Delete. So how the hell I should recognize whether it's extra key or not? Okay, until it builds the software, a stroke dot information. What does the information part holds? I can trace something back, right? So here I can trace I can do one thing. Okay, so it has a driver needs a library that a program that wants to use that driver, it gets attached to that library and they use that. So I can use this. So now no extra information is for, okay, information part is if a Unicode keyboard or an ANSI keyboard have been pressed. Okay. So, okay. Now we're launching VHelp. Right? I can't finally open this without doxing myself. So, yeah, x64 new release. It should be VHelp. Here we go. Okay. So now VHelp with a command prompt. Yeah, there we go. A CMD. Where's the VHelp itself? Yeah, there we go. It took. It was a scanning. Okay. So now if I press a key, interesting, it doesn't detect the extra keys. It just doesn't detect it. Okay, this 28 is basically the code of enter, normal enter. However, numpad enter, which is the extra key, it doesn't detect it. I can do something else. I can push this into before any filter happens, right? Like at the start of the loop when it detects, okay, a key has been pressed or pushed back. I can do that. Let's see how that remains. Probably I can push it for a while. Okay, so I'm detecting key up and key down. I'm having a context. I don't think this driver is capable of handling extra keys. So now yeah, now it's one for push up, one for push down, so it's 2 every time I press a key. But numpad enter would not get detected. It's probably a driver limitation. Okay, so now what? So I can try print that extra information. I can try do that. Maybe that has something to be processed. So instead of this, it would be information, right? So build it again. Okay. So now what? Okay. Come on. Now it crashes. Why does crash? If it crashes? Is trying to access out of band information? Okay, it was that time. I probably should diagnose that crash. So that generally doesn't have that much information to begin with. At least the way I'm using it. So now, context. On the only filters we have, yeah, it's probably the driver cannot handle it. So if the driver cannot handle it, we first did this, right? Then I go here, needs custom driver license. I probably need to buy that. So for now, we don't have any custom keys. Okay, so enhance virtual keyboard custom keys engine. That would be in a wiki, I'm guessing. Yeah. Okay, so I already said that this is a shitty code. I already commented here. So the way it works, it basically converts the virtual keyboard code with my own custom thing to a type of a scan code, right? The problem is that it's if, else if, it's else if. If you press too many keys on that virtual keyboard, it would slow down for a while. It takes a lot of unnecessary process. So I'm going to rehash this a little bit, but I need to figure out somehow how does that work, because this is binary. I can do this. Okay. So instead of this, introduce a switch. The input of switch would be a scan code of the virtual keyboard, right? Then case. I somehow need to detect case based on binary detection. So this is 4 in decimal. This all of the codes that have these are in hexadecimal, right? So if we remove 4 in binary from a scan code, the scan code, the result should be equal to 4. That's basically what it means. It should not have any other data in it. So how do we remove that? Okay, so it goes on three ways. Okay, so either it is this or that. These are based on the space and everything, right? So some codes are here, some codes are here, and okay, so let's break it down. So because okay, so a 4 in binary is basically 1 0 0, if I'm not wrong, right? Because this would be 1, this would be time 2, 2, yeah, it would be like this. So this is a binary. Let me bring up calculator for fuck's sake. So okay, if I put 4 here, yep, I was right. So 3 in binary would be 0 1 1, right? I need to somehow detect them based on switch basis. Now I understand why I did them separately. I understand why I did them separately. I couldn't remember why I did them, but I now understand. So now I wanted to remove something. Okay, so based on the binary configuration, it's either that 111, 110, or 001, right? This would be equal to 1. This would be equal to 4, 6, 7. This would be equal to 6. So 1, I missed 2, didn't I? Yeah, 1, 0, 1. Right? We need to somehow filter all of these. So, first thing we do is that we make a miniature scan code. Okay, which is a word, if I'm not wrong. What is the whole scan code is based on? Oh, okay, it needs to be same thing. Okay, so it's basically unsigned integer 32-bit. So later on I can add more, as much as key as I can into virtual keyboard. Okay, so now this should be equal to scan code binarized with how much numbers? 7, right? So it would be 0x0007, right? That would filter whatever the number it had before it. That would filter that out. Now we input this to the switch, right? We know that now we know at maximum the input of the switch is 7. So now if Oh man, I want to do something that doesn't require this else if, but whatever I think, I go back to that. I need to handle it somehow. Okay. So this if there is, oh, wait a minute. Why I'm doing binary here? Because I'm noticing something. So we know this is 4 in binary, right? So if it is 4 and I bring it down, right? So imagine this is a scan code, whatever this code is, right? If I binary AND it with this, the only thing it's going to detect it's whether it has that 1 there or not. That's the only thing it's going to detect. I don't know based on what logic I have. I forgot based on what logic I have implemented that. So it's just detecting that one, right? So I need to somehow detect that one in another way. How about this? Okay, so I'm not quite sure how to do that, right? But how to check binary bit in C++, right? Define check bit where pose where and pose. One is okay. It's basically doing the same thing here. Okay, so but now I know one thing. Check bit temp element -1. So it's index based. Okay. So if I put 3 here, that would check that binary bit, right? But it needs an additional step in assembly. So how the hell I can detect you? Okay, so Okay. Um, so it's basically putting that. Okay, this is basically a variable. Putting variable here, and yeah, going back to position of the binary. So how the hell I can do that? This is the part that I wasn't why I didn't started developing it. Okay, so one C in hexadecimal, how one C would convert gotcha. So probably it is. Oh yeah, this was reversed. That part was reversed. That I did such a detection. So I was detecting this to see if this is that extra specific key or not. So if it was, I would reverse it. Okay. What is in? Yeah, it's reversed here as well. It's reversed here as well. This 0 should be here. That's why I did this stupid thing here to reverse this thing. I can do a reverse binary rotation. So one if would be a reverse binary rotary, and then this else. But then I want to completely eradicate this else thing in here. So, because again, if you press too much on the virtual keyboard, it will slow it down. It'll slow the whole program down actually, because it's only using 2 threads. I try to make it as less CPU hungry as possible, so it doesn't ruin streaming and everything. So I can do reverse binary rotary. That's a possibility there. Or okay. So first thing we're going to check, it's okay. We're going to okay, let's do this. I got it. How to get last binary bits in C++. So what we do here is that First, we filter them by if. Okay, so this miniature scan code would be here. Basically, do this. Okay, so this would be 3, so the last 4 digits, and this would be the scan code, right? So now, if I do a switch here and input this, I need to change them based on like multiple switches, like because it's 7. So four just indicates that this he exists, but there is a possibility of these two exist as well. So we need to consider a bunch of situations, right? So this would be 6. This would be 6. This would be 3. This would be 4. This would be 7. So case 6, case 7, case 4. Do we have another possible income output? Okay, 6, 5. So case 5. Okay. The scan code would be this. Break. Okay. Now, okay. That's the possibility of all of them that has one that this bit on, right? Then we have these possibilities. 1, 1. So basically, okay, we would have case 3 here, which a scan code would equal to what this number here, right? Default behavior of switch should be a scan code or binary rotated with 0 is 0, 0, 0. This probably should do it. Probably. So I comment this if part out. Right? So now, okay, we consider all of the possibilities of this if. I'm not quite sure only about the complete possibilities of this if. So this, the number 3 in binary detects this. So let's do a manual thing here. So probably 7 would be under 3, right? Yeah, that was the part I was missing. So, okay, so case 6, 4, and 5. Those who only this part is enabled for, this bit is enabled for them, are going to activate this. Those which these 2 bits are enabled for them, going to this part. That probably could work. Okay, so let's build VHelp based on this new function. This is such a decoding. I just hope, fingers crossed, it works, because I'm not a programmer behind VHelp and I have no idea how. I said VHelp. We have programmer behind Qt, and I have no idea how, and on this like part that I have reverse engineered, how these ones work. So I hope it works correctly. Okay. Now we're bringing VHelp, right? Enable virtual keyboard, and now this should trigger something. No, it doesn't. Oh boy, what did I break? So let's see. So maybe this. Let's see if my character, it worked. It worked. Nope, it didn't. Okay, so let's see something very obvious. D. What? What? Why it does that? Why does that? Okay. So, hi, welcome here, me testing program. You came at the perfect time. Okay. Sorry for what about to. Okay. For some reason, it repeats the last key that have been repeated. Thank you so much! Thank you so much for the raid! Thank you so much, Saiti! So, just a recap of what's happening here for the raid. Okay, I'm developing a program that is for helping VTubers called VHelp, right? So it's an alpha version. I'm doing the development of the first release. You're watching me testing things right now, right? Like this. This is definitely a bug. This should not happen. This should not happen here. Okay. So. Okay, so let's close VHelp. Let's. Oh, thanks for the following. Thanks for the follow. So, let's close VHelp. So, probably, I'm guessing that this is the part that I made a mistake. It's working semi-correctly. Thank you for the follow. Again. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. So let's build VHelp again. Let's see if this brick code here happens or I need to do something else. Right from Sushi Fox. Thank you, Sushi Fox. Thank you, Sushi Fox, for the raid. Thank you so much. I was curious what the face was about. Well, you know, I have a drone mode. It was a parody of murder drones that I did for Halloween. So let's disable the virtual keyboard. So I have a kitsune mode, right? So let's go back everything. Okay, so and now I have a kitsune mode here. Let me. So my head is on there. So if I go on kitsune mode, here it is, and here's the bit that I did for Halloween, which it was a parody of murder drones, and it was a drone mode. Here it is. So now if I deactivate the kitsune mode and activate the drone mode, this would happen. The drone mode and kitsune mode supposed to be used beside each other. That's what the face is. But that face going back and forth, it's VHelp glitching. I don't know now, it's glitching or... Yeah, it's glitch. This is a glitch. This should not happen. So that was the face. Okay. Let's close VHelp. Let's bring it back to normal keyboard. And bring the normal, disable the drone mode. Okay. So now I should figure out where the glitch happens. It happens, the refactor of this part of the code is working correctly, except the part that it's glitching, which means some sort of loop is happening here. That's the fact that some sort of loop is happening here makes me suspect that there was an unsuspicious bug somewhere else, because this gets triggered by a signal from a QML file here. That triggers from this. That makes me thinking somehow this is looping. I don't know how to detect that loop and disable it though. So we will figure out beside each other. So there's the signal that is sending to that part is by this key event. So the key event is sends this key to this signal, and this signal sends that thing to that. So the problem is how to detect if a key is being pressed, right? So the only way that I think I can detect it is put an if statement here. If modifier, I think. So the thing is, I'm using a framework here, which is Qt. So let's bring up the Qt part, the Qt documentation, to see how everything is going. Okay, so Qt key event. QML. So the thing that I want to recognize, okay, so it's unpressed. So now if I Qt key enter. Okay, so what I was going for, oh yeah, the second argument. I was going for the second argument. I can definitely do this way they did, which is not good. So, okay, modifier. Oh, okay, it detects whether it's extra key or not. So I need to detect whether the key input somehow. So now the key. Okay, so how the key works? It's an integer, which, okay, makes sense why I'm passing it right there. So let's do something. Let's detect whether it is the loop or not, because I'm just assuming right now. Okay. Let's see whether that glitch is here or not. It's this part looping or not. So now we want to make this a statement, std count key pressed. What this line of code basically does is that, oh, of course, it's not going to recognize it because I'm probably needs to import it. This include where is that part? I wanted to describe to you guys what that part does, but I need to include this first for that code to work correctly. So okay, now if I go here, it should recognize it. Yes. So what this line of code basically, okay, that doesn't recognize it. What this line of code basically does is that it, you see, I have not built it yet. But you see, there's a CMD opens up that is for me for debugging it. Of course, in the version that is released, I disabled this. But this basically puts these letters into this CMD whenever this function gets triggered. So based on that, I can recognize it is looping or not, right? But right now I have a problem here with compiler recognizing that. So give me one moment. So if I go to keyboard hook, oh yeah, iOS. It was iOS stream, of course it was iOS stream. So instead of FS stream, iOS stream. And then we go here, and this have been recognized. Okay. Now we build this. Come on. Don't disappoint me. It's unidentified? Yep. Okay. So, keyboard hook. Include iOS stream. iOS streams usually should work unless I have did something wrong there. Oh. You see what I did wrong here? This is me being dumb. So. Okay. Technically, it should work. Okay, it's scanning again. And you don't. Okay. Print. I'm using a very C code here. It does the same thing. That was just more customized. So now build it to say where it goes. So okay. I changed one of the headers, but that's why it's taking so long, because it needs to rebuild some of the files. Okay, it developed enough so I can test it. So now let's see what happens. Enable virtual keyboard. Definitely it's not this. This part is not looping. Definitely it's not looping. Definitely not looping. It's somewhere else malfunctioning. Good that I didn't go down that rabbit hole. Okay. So the next thing that happens after this is that it reports the key to this part of the program. Okay, let's go upwards. And this function is connected to this function, basically signals the key to this function. So now let's test here, see whether it works here or not. Key pressed. I swear if it's somewhere in the engine. I swear if it's somewhere in the engine. Because just minutes ago before the raid, I was manipulating engine. I swear if I introduce somehow a bug in the engine. Okay. So now okay. Okay, definitely that part is not looping as well. It's engine. It's engine. Okay. So it basically reports this key to the engine, it says a variable in the key engine that say, hey, this key have been pressed, and sets a loop of that. I'm suspicious that part is somehow malfunctioning, although it wasn't malfunctioning before. Is that if I go into the engine, there is a loop. This is for somewhere else, right? So let's go to the top of the engine when the key detection happens, right? And add key, not this part. Okay, this is the part. So if it's waiting for virtual keyboard, it's like waiting for a loop, right? This is that loop. So if I separate this window here so you guys can see it better, and go here over main VHelp file, right? You see that it sets a RAM address to false. The RAM address of that with this is the same, right? So I'm suspecting whether it's this one which is malfunctioning. So now we put a code here, printf key pressed. Although another thing, I'm not afraid for this to be for the source code that I'm describing here, because later on I'm going to make this program open source when it's get out of alpha and beta version. So I'm doing myself a favor and describing it forward, and once will remain for whoever wants to change the program later on. So now if I open it, see? This already tells us what's happening. This already tells us what's happening. Oh boy, I think it's crashed. Yeah. It's crashed. So somehow I know exactly what's happening there, right? Because now if I bring that window up, it's out of that loop, which means this is somehow false. So there should be a second bug here as well. There should be a second bug. So now there should be a second bug, because when I set this true by this function, by when this gets like, when it gets false, later on it should be set to true, right? So what we need to do here, okay, how to trace back this bug. Okay, so this calls this function, which loops in here forever until this gets set to false, which here for some reason is set to false. Okay, so so what we do here is that see where this sets to true here and trace that back. So the RAM address of this equals the RAM address of this, which is true. Then we set the value of that RAM address to false, right? Which is basically 0. So here, how many times we mentioned this? 2 times. Oh boy, is it? Ladies and gentlemen, I think I found the bug. So we should set this to true here before setting it to this. Although I'm thinking maybe I set that to true here. Maybe? Nothing is here. Which loop? Yeah, I did that. It's odd that it's malfunctioning right like that. Okay, let's rebuild it again. So okay, it needs to, okay, now I did that. Okay, so far so good. Crashed. There should be another reason that it's crashing here. Why that's the case? Okay, why that's the case? Okay, so for the record, definitely this is not the bug. So definitely this is one of the things that makes it crash. For the record, we know that this part is not getting triggered multiple times. We tested that, but we know that this somehow doesn't stay on. Okay, let's do this. Let's see how many times it does that loop, right? Because it should do this loop until I tell it not to, which is pressing a key, not passing right after the loop. That would be odd. So okay, come on. It's the warnings that I intentionally put there. It's basically RAM hashing. You need to pay attention to that. So loop it does the loop more than it breaks the loop, which is good. You see the problem there? You see the problem? This is the problem. Okay. The loop gets stopped. So, okay. Let's bring this here. I have kind of figured the bug out. Okay, so let's go back up. Maybe it should be around here, right? Then I set else to this, right? So this is where it pushes the data into the, then we check whether it is enabled or not. And if it is enabled, so let's check whether this thing is happening right here or not. So we know how these two functions, so I comment them out. So printf loop set to true. So, oh, I said printf. Okay. Then here build. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so now okay, doesn't do that. That's the part that it's malfunction. It doesn't do that. The bug has been found. Okay. So now I need to see why that's the case. So if VK enabled is true here, false. Should I have done that reversed? Okay, so no, I should have done that reverse. It's correct. It's VK enabled is false. It does that, which is its detection whether it's virtual keyboard is enabled or not. If it's false, it should do this. Do I set this somewhere? Let's check whether VK enabled is true or not. We std count VK enabled std endl, which basically says go to the next line. End this line and go to the next line. Okay. So let's build it. At least I know it's part of the engine. So yes, forget. Okay. I think Esprocket really likes this song. This background song. Okay. So now It is still 1. Although it should later on check why this is happening. It should have stuck on this loop. But whether that or not, let's see where this is going. So it doesn't set that, but this is 1. So it returns false. And if I'm right, wait a minute. I'm a dummy. You know, an optimization code I have been put very far ago. This line of code here. This basically means when it reaches this part of the loop, it cuts the loop and go and repeats the loop again. That's what it means. So it never gets to this part to get executed. Okay, so all I should do is do this. And probably the virtual keyboard should function correctly. Probably. That makes a ton of sense. Oh boy, I feel bad for those who using the previous alpha version. Okay, now let's test it. Okay, so now it still does that. It still does that, but one bug is fixed. One of the bugs is fixed. I said it's a two-parter bug. So, okay. Now that this have been fixed, I need to figure out why this happens. Why it goes out of this loop. So, let's put these two here. Now these two should function a little bit differently than the last time. So, it built at that. Now, if I go here, okay, this is correct. I think I figured out where that bug comes from. Pay attention. When inside the loop there is nothing, it skips that. Oh god. Okay. When the loop is empty, it skips that and passes this. But when I put something in the loop, it goes over this. You know what does that mean? So let me bring Notepad here. Not Notepad, Paint. So I can describe the concept with you to you guys. Okay, so the way C++ programming works is that you define your code here. Okay. Then it gets to a program called compiler, So I put this for the compiler. Maybe this, right? So I put it com only. Com. So then compiler turns that, builds the function and turns it into a .exe file if it's Windows, right? That's how C++ works. Basically, compiler turns your code into a complete 0 and 1, so a computer can understand what it should do. But that was the only function of compiler very long ago, like past 26 or something like that. Nowadays, compiler does something else as well. If I go here to setting, go to C++, optimization, we have this flag. It basically tells compiler if it figured out somewhere that could be rearranged in a way that speeds up the program, the compiler should do that. Right? That's what it basically means. It's like very more hard defined, but I dumbed it down, the optimization of compiler to this one. It's very more complicated optimization in compiler. So when I leave this loop empty, compiler thinks this loop doesn't have anything to accomplish, so it deletes the loop in the code in the .exe file. The result, this loop constantly calls this loop here for it to wait, make this loop wait until I set this variable to false. But because this loop is not getting executed and compiler is deleting this loop, it's constantly going to like executing this one, which results in that glitch. Moral of the story, I should put something here. Later on, I probably should figure a way out to tell compiler to not optimize this specific loop here. But for now, I don't know. Int test equals 1, I guess. I hope compiler, this makes compiler to doesn't deem this loop as not worthy. Okay, let's test it now. So now it doesn't work at all. Let's launch it again. So, no, my avatar is not emoting. So compiler is doing another optimization there. I should put some sort of comment here. I cannot put printf because printf is one of the very CPU hungry commands there. So I'm taking the second thread like a horde. So Let's do a trick. Let's see how compiler responds to this trick. I'm telling the loop to go to the next loop. Let's see how compiler reacts to this trick. Okay. So it worked. Nope. Compiler deleted the loop completely. Okay. So let's do this thing. And compile busy equals 1. Compile busy equals 2. How does this loop functions? Okay, so if I do this here and it does the same behavior. It does the same behavior as before. So definitely it means that compiler have put some sort of like comparing. So what dummy function I should put there? Okay, so I do the printf, but later on I need to do something else with this thing. Okay. Later on I need to, well, I tell the compiler to not optimize this specific function, this specific loop. I need to delete that line. That line is super slow. Okay, so now it works correctly. It's all compiling issue. Okay, at least a couple of things have been achieved, right? So here in the to-do list part, we remake this part, but virtual keyboard hook loop compiler on optimization, because if I optimize that part it will delete the loop. Okay, so, wait a minute. So we make virtual keyboard. Oh, that should have been replaced this. Then we are making a virtual keyboard is based on something else. So add different function to virtual string deck. Okay. For those of you guys that you don't know, if I open up VHelp, so here I have virtual stream deck, right? So if I make my BGM silent for 1 second, okay, then I click on this Angry Bird that I made for testing it. See? It's supposed to give the virtual stream deck functions. But I only have implemented the sampling. I need to implement other things. So now we're implementing that. So let's bring back VGM. Okay, so now if I go the file for virtual stream deck is here, right? So actually I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but the name of the file is VSD. It stands for virtual stream deck. I have so much dumb naming here. So now virtual stream deck. So it makes a bunch of 64 by 64 grid here. 64 by 64. I think it's less. Where is that for grid function? That 64 by 64 is the logo size of the icons, probably. So at VJ, it's 4 by 8. It's 4 by 8. So it's 4 by 8 grid. So okay, it makes these buttons and connects the click of them to this. Okay, now I need to make I need to premade a window, right? So on the private part, I would do this: Q input, Q dialog. Probably I need to include that as well. Include Q. Okay, wait a minute. I had the documentation right here, so I don't need to do that. Yeah, there we go. Q input dialog. So this is a pre-made dialog by the framework. Okay, it's starting to recognize, I guess. No? Why not? Okay, let's command this. Okay, so okay, Q input dialog. It should be a pointer to a location of nav. Let's mention I've put the name func_choose. It stands for function choosing. New Q input dialog. So it makes a RAM location with the size of Q input dialog and fills that with the default Q input dialog. I didn't need to include this as well. So now I need to prepare this, right? Because if I go here and add this here, this Q input, this was correct, this func_choose dot show, probably, yeah, It's the right argument I'm using, right? So probably should be like, shut up. So it should be like this. Yeah, now it's correct. So if I do this and build it, one of the headers have to change, so it takes time a little until it builds it properly. Oh, I made an error. So I should probably include this. Last time it said it recognized it, but now it doesn't. Okay, so here we go. And let's build it. Okay, now it's error free. Now it's error free. Again, this header file have been changed, so it takes time a little bit for it to function. So come on, there we go. And now if I bring this up, and go to virtual stream deck, this is the thing that you guys see. Really unhelpful. Unless you want to type your function here. So I need to customize this thing, but I don't want to fully customize it, because if I want to fully customize it, I can go drive it, right? Driving is like this. This is QWidget is basically a window in the framework. So I'm basically driving a class based on the QWidget. Basically, I'm defining a custom window. I don't want to completely go custom window for this, but they have put ways to define, define some sort of dialog box that you want, like this, right? So now what I do is that I define here this. Probably this part is very wrong, but probably I put null pointer there later on. So tr choose your function. Okay, then what else do we have here? Tr function, the next part is the name of the thing that you are choosing. So tr available functions, and I put what if I want a combo box here? So new combo box, normal geometry probably. So I need to make a list Oh, it works as well. It works like this as well. So now where does it error? Q no instant constructor Q input dialog matches the argument list, which means basically this Q input box, Q combo box. That you have Q combo box is basically a drop down that you can choose whatever you want, right? So input mode, text mode, input integer. Okay, I need a combo box right here. Oh, so no buttons. Use list view for Q combo box for combo box items. Okay, use list view for combo box. So if I don't trigger it this way, right? Because in the documentation, it showed another way to trigger it. If I go here to file, not file chooser, that's a custom window to VST, this probably would error out. So now I would do this. Okay, now, okay, expression precedes parentheses of call must have. So it's input dialog options. So, oh, I probably should use get item. Wait a second. So, get. If you don't, if you guys cannot see it here, okay. So, get item here. If I go here, a static convenience function lets user select an item from a string list. Basically, a drop-down menu. What does it? It basically means that. So, get item. So, item. Now, yeah, I put this here out of so I can view it right good in the second monitor, so I can adapt based on that. Choose your function. Okay. This should be title, label, functions, away, label, functions, and with a string list. I input a string list. Okay, so it has an empty input. Now what happens if I do this? It takes a little bit time because it needs to rebuild that part all over again. So we will see what happens. It's rebuilding the VST part, the header of the VST. Okay, it's built it. So Now, if I go to virtual stream deck, it does it better. It's not a drop down yet, but it does it better. So choose your function is here, it's attached to that, so it's either cancel or okay. Then there is this. Okay, so now, so it was get item, wasn't it? Yep. So it was probably like that because the string list would be empty, right? So now we initialize a string list here in the header file. We just make a basic definition of it. Then define it in the initialization of the window. So q a string list func list, basically function lists. So for now, here in this part, func list dot push back. We push back play sound. Func list. There's more optimized way to do this. There is a very more optimized way to do this. I have done it in another way part. If I go here, I have done something like that. I don't know where I did that, but there's a way better optimized way to do that. But for now, that we are just developing the basic of it, this would be okay. Create folder func list dot pushback, open browser. I'm not going to implement all of this because the time of the stream is almost up as well. So we have implemented some things. We fixed the bug, we re-implemented something and have implemented this part. But oh, I made a mistake. Okay, but this is good for the test part of it. So we wait for this to finish compiling or building or whatever you want to call it. Before that, go to VST. So okay, it's compiled, but it's deploying. Deploying basically it means it puts all the necessary DLL files into the same folder. So when I release it somewhere, you guys don't need to download DLLs one by one. Okay. Hello. Now, I should have changed this part. I forgot. Now uses this string list here that I put together. Right? It built. So now if I go to virtual stream deck, And you guys can put a random text in it, which is dumb. I should lock that. I should lock that part. Okay, so one by one, right? So first thing, okay, so then we put the, like, from where of the string list that we put, give it should start, which is 0. It means the first item at the start, which is playing audio. Then putting this false, if I go based on the documentation. The false part make it not editable, so it's only a drop down, not a drop down plus text. So, okay. Yep, it's now only a drop down. Now I need to recognize what to do based on the drop down, right? So, okay. Here we make an integer equal integer user choose the output of it is not that. The output should be, the output is QS string. Why, for goddamn sake? Why, for the goddamn sake, it should be QS string? You should just output. The output of it is QS a string, not an index of where you have chosen. Okay. So, this is the last part that I'm doing in the stream, developing the stream. The next development of it will be for the next week. By the way, tomorrow I'm trying to finish episode 2 of Half-Life 2 with physics, with broken physics. So, iterating over strings, member la index of. So, Q a string list index of Q letting a string view a string. So I can do this Q a string okay, then what I wanted to do, oh yeah, now we do font list dot index of user choose, right? So now it's integer user choose index. Okay. Now we make a switch that detect what to do based on the switch. So switch user choose index. Case 0 should be defined like this. Okay. This is half-as implemented. I need to way more elaborate here. But this is good for the start. Okay. And this set enable false should go here, and this should become null. Null pointer. Okay. Now okay, it has been made. So now here it works correct, but now if I put this here, okay. So we need to do two things now. Okay, so null pointer, we need to make a boolean. Bool if not cancelled equal, and we don't need to set it, right? If I go to this documentation, after editable, I need to pass a pointer to that bool, right? Based on this bool, I can detect whether someone have pressed false, pressed cancel, or pressed OK. Okay, so and if not cancelled, right? So if you press on OK, this would become this would turn out like give out OK. So then if not cancelled is here, then we do this switch. Now if I cancel it, technically it should not do anything. Technically. Okay. So here virtual stream deck. Yep. So one part of it was true. Else this dot set enabled. I need to reverse that if it didn't go through. False. No, it should be true. Okay. Now what happens here? Virtual stream deck. Ta-da! Okay. Now it's expected because that part is not programmed yet. But if I go and use the play sound, it should go to the play making a sound part. So now the things that I should do. So here okay, I make this change this type of comment to this comment. Okay, so now I'm listing what this needs to be done. Optimizing a string list. We need to add button functions other than playing audio, adding all here, adding all Stream Deck functions to a string list, and another thing that I have not mentioned yet, buttons are hard coded here to only play a sound. So if I go here into the when a button gets triggered, yeah, it's only triggered to playing a sound. Not only I need to make it savable, right? I need to make it dynamic as well. So different buttons of virtual Stream Deck is connected to different functions, and you can recover when opening the VHelp. This needs to happen, but adding the flexibility is at the end of the list. So adding function flexibility to buttons and changing virtual Stream Deck save file to remember button functions. This is what we need to do for adding different functions to virtual Stream Deck. Okay. Keyboard hook loop compiler and optimization. Then we go to the remake. Then we go to adding function to OBS plugin of VHelp. Okay, that's the end of the session. So I had not met this amount of viewers until now, so I didn't prepare for doing a raid. But that doesn't mean I cannot do a raid. So if whoever what type of streams do you want to go? Do you want to go? Okay, let's do this. Let's make it two variable survey. If you want to have an IRL, watch the IRL stream and a smaller stream, it would be 1-1. If you let me tell you. Let me type it in the chat. Okay, so A smaller streamer. VTuber or not? First one, if it's 0 or 1, if it's 0, it means you want a bigger streamer. If it's 1, it means you want a smaller streamer. The second one, if it's 1, it means you want a VTuber. If it's 0, it means you want an IRL streamer. If you want, now put in the chat what you want me to rate to whom. Nobody? Nobody at all? Okay. I'm waiting for the chat. Okay, since you guys have not chosen anything, I'm going to choose a smaller VTuber. How's that sound? So let's see whom I can rate. Let's see what this VTuber is about. What's going on? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch with you guys. But that's a bummer. So let's see. Reaching AFK. Okay. Okay. So there's only this. She is here only to be raided.
Yeah, I will make you please so that's I reckon there's gonna be less people than like when we were in the viewing booth, it was a lot of people, but no shit. Like when we were 6 people behind the booth. So there was a lot of traffic, but since it's just me, I don't have to rush making the blinsonas now. I was like in a moment of panic.
Let's rate this guy.
We should do that! You're a genius! You're a fucking genius! Ayama, I'll
Okay.
make people spin, and they're gonna get what they get. Oh my god, you're a genius!
Great
All the
channel.
people are up for. Yes, I will spin. That's so fucking funny. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I wanna do it. I wanna do it. Yeah. Bring your V-card box in a pack. V-cards, V-royals. Bring your
8,
cards. So I can
7,
the ultra rares for you.
5, 4,
Time out.
3,
Fuck out.
2, 1.
Wheel of punishment to get a Sona at the booth. How many times can we spin? The first one is free. After that, I will start making the big cash. You see